Hi, I'm Mark Simpson. I'm doing a review on this SKB I-Series Bowcase. It is model 3I4214-5 and it's 42.5 inches long by 14.5 inches by 5.5 inches. The lid height is 1.25 with bottom depth 4 inches according to their brochure. I would like to say I'm doing these reviews. I'm not being sponsored, not trying to make money on this in any way. I just doing these for you to help out people that are trying to buy a Bowcase and want to know a little bit about them. This Bowcase, I haven't reviewed any others. The reason I bought this Bowcase is because it is a hard Bowcase for one thing, which I wanted, and I wanted a case that maybe I could take on an airplane. It has wheels on it, and I like it because it's not overly big. The other Bowcases that you might want to look at are the Pelican and the Plano that are kind of similar to this in that they could be, in my opinion, used on an airplane. I'm sure there's other cases that could be used on the airplane too, but these are the ones that have TSA locks and things like that. Again, you saw the title. It is for my new RX4 Ultra Hoyt, and it's in here right now. You may not be able to see that. I'll show you in a little bit. That bow is 34 inches axle to axle, and it is, if you measure from the wheel to wheel in length, it's a little over 36 inches, and I'll show you that up close here in a minute. Okay, here's my bow in the case. As you can see, I pulled out the bottom and I'm putting it in here to redo the Velcro latches down, so I'm going to mark where I want those. The fit of this is a little bit tight, but you know, I'll go over that. As you can see, I have a fixed sight on there. I'm sure a lot of people will be on this bow will be using a removable sight. I'll come down here and show you where that could be a cutout in here, and you could put you know, your sight in here if you did some cutting out of this material. It's about a 1/4 inch thick of this hard foam, and then it's softer foam underneath. The stabilizer I have, as you can see, is a Fuse 6-inch, and I'm in the middle of, I've drilled a hole out here, and I'm going to, the hard foam came out, but I need to cut out this foam in here, and as you can see, the head of the Fuse stabilizer I'm going to fit right in there as a place to store it. Now, when I was fitting this right here on the sight would hit right in here on the arrow where you would store your arrow. So I really can only store about a half a dozen arrows in here. Of course, you don't store broadheads in here in case they would fall down and hit your string. The tight spot quiver I have on here I can get it closed, but I wouldn't be able to have any arrows in here with a quiver, and I just don't think I'll be doing that. Even with a quiver as far down as I possibly can get it to the bow. It's actually almost touching the bow there, so I don't think it works too well with that. Now, if it were doing things all over again, I did see a SKB model, and I don't know if that zooms in, but you can see where I've put a little box or a little tick where my bow case is. They do make a 3i-4217-7, and it's a little bit wider, 17 inches versus this one's 14.5, and it also is thicker, 5.5 inches is this one versus 7.5 inches. So if you want a bigger bow case, you might want to get that. It gives you a little more room for those accessories that you might be wanting. I do not think, I think I will carry maybe 6 arrows with target points in here, but it would be nice to, if you're flying, to not have to bring an arrow case or arrow box. But I think with this I will be doing that. Anyhow, when I get the Velcro strapping back together, I'll show you that and videotape that. Okay, here's the 1/4 inch pad in the bottom when it was in the bottom of the bow case, and you can see as where I pried it up with this chisel. I heated up the edge of that chisel, and it would cut right through this hot melt, and I got it up without tearing up the pad, although it left a lot of glue on it, as you can see. And what I did is I just heated up this again, used a spatula, put it on the glue, and any high points I just kind of spread it out, heated back the glue, and then spread it out so that there's no high points of glue in here. And I'll reuse this with some I'll put it back in with hot melt, but now it's smoothed out, so there's no large or thick glue spots in it anymore. So that's what I'm going to do. So here's my SKB with the bottom foam removed from the bottom. It was hot melted in, and I took a chisel like this one and heated up the backside with the propane, and that's what I moved underneath the foam with to get it off. And then these are the plates that you find underneath. And anyhow, this one, as you can see, is 90 degrees off from being able to, parallel limb goes along here of your bow. It should be 90 degrees this way. Also, these are 2 inches thick, which seem to be a little overkill. So decided to take this off. I'll probably keep these plastic plates. These are also hot melted down. I'll take them off, and then I'll rotate it, probably put some 1-inch Velcro back in, And I'll probably move this a little over so that it matches the limb of the Hoyt. Show you that later. And then this right here, where it would go around the handle, as you can see later, the handle's over this way, so I'll be moving it to match. And then this one I've already taken off. It was again like hot melted in. So I hope that helps. Anyhow, I'll show you it when it's all completed. Okay, I just wanted to show you that I redid the plates, put on some 1-inch Velcro. I Velcroed one side to the plate with hot melt glue, and anyhow I'm going to reposition it so it's right where I want it, and be custom for this particular bow. Okay, here's the case with the these straps hot melted back in, and I put the foam pad, cut these little slits, as you can see, the old 2-inch slits where they were, and go over here and show you that. And these pieces of foam I'm going to hot melt to there. That's to protect the sight, and that's just to give this end of the bow some height. I'll show you that in a second. I put the bow back in. Okay, here it is with it pretty much done. I have one more thing I want to show you, but here it is all strapped in, and it's all real tight, doesn't move. Even found a place, like I said maybe earlier, for my quiver. It looks like I probably will make some straps to strap that in place so it's not shaking. I probably could fill that up with arrows, and I think it's long enough on this end for the arrows to stick through and have a place for the arrows. Anyhow, I hope that helps. I'm probably going to do one more video on this with some dimensions. It may be edited so you see it. You may have already seen it. So anyhow, I just wanted to put a half a dozen arrows back up there now that I got it all secured, just to see if it would close, which I think it will. And yes, it does close. I don't, oh, right in there. The arrows are hitting on the tight spot mount, so it doesn't look like I put them in the right spot. I need to move them. No, they won't work up here either, so I guess I just wanted to let you know that can't store any arrows up here. So you may be interested in how long everything is. You know, from there to here is 32 inches. And if you go to the back, and if I can do this one-handed, oh shoot, sorry about that. Guess I'll use two hands real quick. Anyhow, if you go to the back, you can see it goes to about 36, 37 inches from right there. There's a little more depth on that end, as well as this end. And then you have about 13, you have about 13 and a half inches of width. Of course, I showed you earlier that this end of is a little thicker than this end, and this is where I put the end of my stabilizer. So okay, that's it for this part. Okay, I did try to put some arrows in here to see if they would fit in here, but they're uncut right now, but they stuck way out here even cut. They'd probably not fit in here. So anyhow, just wanted to report on that. I don't know if I could, I don't think I could get my arrows, they're 20 and 8.5 into this area, so just wanted to report on that too. Alright, one last video. I did get the Velcro in for strapping down the quiver, and although I can't put any arrows in it right now because of this, the arrows would hit here and here. I could see if I could take this 1/4 inch padding off and rotate it so that the arrows were more down in here, and I might be able to get 6 in there if I did that. Anyhow, thought I'd add that.